guys, welcome to Designing Dreams in the Haas. I'm your host, Tyler Swartzmiller, owner and principal designer at Haas Studio. I'm here with Ashley today, our guest. Hey, Ashley.
Hey, Tyler.
Thanks so much for coming in. So I want to start off by apologizing to the guest. I started listening to the first few episodes and I realized I say yeah, way too much when they're talking. So hopefully I don't do that as much and I can be a little more engaged in the conversation. So what I always like to start out by is asking you how you got in the industry. I know you kind of started appliances. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So what was your first kind of job in the industry there?
Well, I got into the industry by accident, of course. And I went to college to be a teacher. And I moved to Columbus, Ohio in 2004. I was getting my master's in teaching. I was substitute teaching for Columbus Public. And I had a part-time job at Lowe's. I'd never stepped foot in a Lowe's before.
Yeah.
But I had a connection there, and I needed some nights and weekends and holidays because, as you know, teachers don't work those days, which is lovely. But I started off with Lowe's, and my part-time job just turned into a full-time job because I really love the people there. I worked for a really great store. I had great opportunities for education, just learning about all of the products inside the store, how to manage them, how to sell them, and then I would move from department to department, learning different departments in the store.
That's really interesting. So you went to school to be a teacher first. What grades were you trying to teach or you thought you were going to teach?
Well, I thought I was going to teach elementary.
Okay.
And I think that's preschool through 5th grade.
Yep.
But when I was substituting with Columbus, I had a great experience of teaching preschool through 12th grade. Just trying it all out. And I was really young. I was 22 years old in the Columbus City school system.
That's a lot.
Teaching some high school.
That's a lot.
Classes. And I figured out really quickly that that's not for me.
And that's okay. I think a lot of times people, go to school thinking they want to do something, but then not realizing actually what it is. And that's something I wish our schools were better at is like, maybe give kids experience like, hey, go try this for not just a day, because a day can be fun, a week. Because I know so many people who went to school for nursing that are no longer nurses because after doing all that schooling, and then they go in for their clinicals, like, oh, I actually hate blood. Like, what am I doing here? So it sounds like it was kind of a similar experience being a teacher.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I love the kids. Yeah. I love teaching, but I just was stuck in this, I don't know. I was stuck in my job at Lowe's. I won't say I was stuck, but I really loved it.
Yeah.
And at the time, I couldn't find a teaching job that paid very well. Yeah. And it just was the timing of all of it. And the education that I received from the managers that I worked with at Lowe's, they were all really well educated, and they wanted to promote and teach people inside the store to the next level. Yeah. I worked at the Lowe's store for 8 years, the same store.
Wow.
So it was a long time. And I woke up one day and said, what am I doing? I'm still working here. Yeah. But I had the opportunity to educate and teach while I was there as well. I was the head of any group I could be the head of, and the safety committee and the remerchandising committee. I was managing and I was teaching. Yeah. I was teaching just at a different level.
Yeah. That's really cool. So, and this is something I've heard before from other people, because I know actually like 3 or 4 people off the top of my head that started at a Lowe's or Home Depot because the education used to be really good. And it obviously depends on the store you're in, but like I know people who have started, in the kitchen or started like in the garden and then went to the kitchen and bathroom and learned all about it and got great education in that area. So you were like garden and you were the lumber yard and you were the bolts and nuts and all of it. So you just a sponge, wanted all the knowledge.
Everything in between. Yeah. I literally started in the electrical department, which led into plumbing. So I was manager of electrical and plumbing. And part of my education was asking customers what they were doing with this product that they're purchasing. I knew where everything was. Yeah. I knew the inventory on it. I knew what orders we had to put in, but I didn't know what to do with it. Yeah. So I would ask my customers, what are you doing with that? And they would kind of look at me funny. Why are you asking me to work here? I said, listen, I just work here. Yeah. I don't know what to do with these things.
I just know where they're at. Can you show me?
And I met so many people just asking them their questions and learning about their businesses. Yeah. Electricians, remodelers, builders, all the above. And there's a handful of people that I met when I very first started with Lowe's that I still know.
That's crazy.
To this day, that our worlds have connected again.
It is a small world. As big as Columbus has gotten, a lot of the people you meet today, you may meet in 10 years from now. It's interesting going to a lot of the industry events we're a part of, because someone come up and be like, hey, Tyler. And I'm like, I don't know who that is. But then they start talking like, oh yeah, I met you at blah blah blah, and it's a small little industry that we live in.
Yeah, it is.
So after Lowe's, where did you go from there? What was your next journey?
My next journey was a very short stint at Sears Home Appliances.
Okay.
Which
R.I.P. Sears.
Yeah. It's okay. It was a stepping stone. I was only there for a very short period of time, and I was there for a reason. And it led me into H.H. Gregg Fine Lines, which was right next door to the location where I was.
Oh, yeah. So I forgot there was a Sears right there, too.
That's all that Sears did for me in my life was lead me to H.H. Gregg Fine Lines.
And sometimes that's what our journeys are.
Exactly. It was wonderful people there. And then that really opened my eyes to the luxury appliance business and luxury building, luxury renovations. And I just can't tell you how thankful I am for stepping across the parking lot into the other store and just opening my eyes to so many different things in our industry.
Yeah.
And from there, here I am today. But I was in the luxury appliance business from 2012, I believe, until just a year and a half ago. And now I'm with Cambria with our luxury quartz countertops.
Yeah, so you went from one luxury product to another. And they obviously they intertwine as well. It's funny, I have a quick H.H. Gregg story. So I was in college. I was trying to get a job. And, I put on my little suit from JCPenney's and had my tie and everything. And I walk in. I think I had a blazer that was way too big. And I walk in and I hand them my application. I trying to get a sales job or something like that. And they were like, oh, I see you're in interior design school. Yeah, no, I don't think this is really the right place for you. And pretty much told me to kind of get out. So I'm glad you had better experience than I did.
Yeah, thankful for those people saying, you know what, this is not a good fit for you.
Yeah, no, I am thankful for that. Let me tell you.
Yes, this is not going to work out.
Yes, yeah.
So the next stepping stone was from H.H. Gregg Fine Lines to custom distributors.
Yep.
Stayed in the luxury appliance business and helped grow that business over the last 5-6 years, and still working with them today on partnering with jobs and customers and events together because our product is shown in their showroom. So it's all intertwined, and it's all about the people.
It is. And
wherever you go.
I know you've learned over these years of, education is a huge thing. At least for me, that's something I look to for my reps for because I don't know everything. As designers, we have to know cabinets, countertops, appliances, hardware, tile, lighting, blah, 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 blah. I can keep going. And I don't have all the knowledge that you do when it comes to this product. So I want reps that I can call or text to be like, hey, I don't know the answer to this. Can you help me here? I don't know. So I'm appreciative for people who love the education because it's important to me as well. So you've been with Cambria now a little over a year and a half. I'm sure it's a little bit different experience from kind of going from family owned to more of a corporation. How's your experience been there in the transition of those?
Eye-opening because there's so much more technology that we use with Cambria, which is really exciting. And I'm finding something new every day. I've still been there a year and a half, but I'm finding more education on our website and how to utilize it. I just went to an account last week and spent 2 hours going through our website and the trade portal that they had never seen before. So that's exciting.
Yeah.
Like, we have so much to offer. I don't even know all of it yet.
Yeah.
I'm still finding new things all the time.
Well, as soon as you do, I'm sure they'll move it around again. So you'll have to learn it all over again, which is totally okay.
Right. There's that. They're adding something new all the time, which is really exciting. And it's just a bigger network of people.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a nice thing about, working with a, global company is things are always changing and learning new things and bringing in interesting people. One thing that I love about Cambria is, they pull people from different medias. I know one of the old directors used to be in the rug industry, like nothing to even do with countertops, but had an eye for design. And that's what they care about. Another experience I went on a training, and one of the lead designers for Chihuly is now a person that works for Cambria that helps select the colors. And you're like, who doesn't know colors better than someone who worked for Chihuly? Like, just crazy stuff. So it is a really interesting company how they've taken people from different industries and just kind of blended them together really nicely. So I know your kind of experience is kind of similar. We're obviously working in the appliance industry and then moving into Cambria.
Yeah, my experience is very similar. The similar clientele, similar loyal clientele like yourself with opening your own business and just combining it all together. I'm so thankful now. I went from selling 75 brands of appliances to one brand.
One countertop.
One brand.
Well, I will say, and this is directed at Nathan Shimp. When he first came in pushing Cambria, I came from a company who just, no, Cambria. So when I came to Columbus, Nathan came in and he was like, oh yeah, we have all these colors and it's one price and you get all these edges for one price and we are one price and it's really easy. There's one price. Nathan, it's no longer one price. There are about 12 different prices now, I have to remember. But it's still pretty clean. But in general, it is interesting how their market has changed as well, from going from like we are one price category to like 6 or 7-ish now. But obviously they saw their market needed to expand. So it was nice they were able to make that shift in the industry.
Absolutely. I think that all comes from the color research that we do,
Yeah.
hiring the right people for
Yeah.
the right color designs, and offering more to our clients too for more selection. And then just expanding it and giving you that option for different price levels too.
Yeah. Well, I think, I know you're really good at it, and I know Cambria is about actually listening to what these people want. Like, hey, what you think of the new color launch? And, even when we're like, oh, we didn't like this, like, you're receptive to hear it. Like, why didn't it work for you? And, I get it sometimes is, again, we're talking about a global company. They're pulling these colors, not for us. Like, oh, sorry, these are the East Coast colors. We're pulling it for them. But it'll come to you sooner or later. It'll be, colors that you're interested in. So I think it's interesting working with a company that large when they're having these launches and all that kind of stuff.
I think so too. And I just saw with our last design launch when I would go into accounts and show them our new designs. Hey, remember when you said you wanted more signature designs? Guess what? I've got one for you.
Here they are.
Remember when you said you wanted something that's not white? We have something that's not white. We listen. It's great.
Yeah.
And I love that our company is big, but it's also small enough to take our ideas and execute them. So we just executed some bonus designs that were kind of hidden online that we didn't know about.
Yeah.
And our team had a lot of these samples made, and we hit the market and showed our accounts saying, look at these bonus designs that we didn't know about.
Yeah.
We've got you want more signature? We have a couple more signature. We have one that's classic that's really popular. And I love that we didn't have to jump through a lot of hoops to do that. We just executed. Nathan made the decision. Thank you, Nathan. And we've been hitting the market with even more new product for our clients.
Yeah, that's great. So I know you're really involved in the industry, not only in Cambria, but then also NARI and women remodeling. How was your experience? Obviously, you got into this industry pretty young as a woman. And what's your experience been?
I think it's changed a lot, and women have been sticking together, and we rely on each other. I've got a gal for that. I got a guy for that, but I've got a gal for that too.
I love that.
I love seeing the women-owned companies surfacing, and we try to support each other throughout the industry for whatever we're doing, because there's so many different vendors that come to these events and make things happen for the remodelers, and we're trying to partner together and educate all of our clients and our accounts together.
Yeah, I found it interesting as I'm putting a list together for more episodes. I'm going through, and not that I was not paying attention, but like I didn't realize how many women really are at the forefront of this industry. And we always think construction, men, and they may be doing the actual work, but who's leading the charge in terms of these reps and these agencies? It is women that are running the show at a lot of these places. So I think it's so cool that when we think of a man dominated industry, a lot of it's not. So I give you props and all the other women that are really trying to blaze away in this industry.
Thank you. And I'm really proud of these women who are coming to the forefront of their company saying, here's what we do.
Yeah.
I'm in charge of it. We're going to make this happen. And also just asking them their stories too. How did you get into this industry? What did it take to move up?
Yeah.
Asking for recognition for the job that you've been doing. And also something that is new on the table that we're looking for is women in the trades.
Yeah.
That's becoming more popular, and I love seeing that as well.
It's so huge. And, I don't want to be on a pedestal, but I talk about this all the time about how, we are, education, we need to get these kids into trades. And we talk about it way too late. We talk about it in high school when it's, oh, you're not going to college, well, you can go to a trade school. No, let's give these kids at young ages, pipes to play with, hammers, all this stuff. Like, it is such a great field to go into. You can make a lot of money. People ignore how much money you can make as a tradesperson. I know plumbers that are making $150,000 a year really easily. And, we need women. We need men and we need women. We need everybody to understand how important the trades are to our industry. And we need them because it's a dying art.
We do. I agree. We need everybody.
Everybody.
Everybody get on board.
Yeah. So being a woman and being a mom, how do you juggle all of this? I know you have a couple of kids and your husband's super busy with his work. How do you find time in your day to even work, honestly?
Well, the children go to daycare or school, thank goodness.
Yes.
Because I couldn't do both. So I don't know, Tyler. It's life.
It's life.
It's
Yeah.
work-life balance, but at Cambria would just call it it's life.
It's
It's
life.
just life.
It's life. Yeah.
Because sometimes we're doing inventory and packing my car at night and the kids are building things with my samples and looking at our Cambria magazines, and we work together sometimes.
Well, it's actually fun that you're, engaging them in that, and you're not just like at a computer, like head down. You're engaging them in their. I mean, I think a Cambria fort sounds like a lot of fun. Just stack up all those samples and see how high you can get them before you play Jenga and they all fall over. Maybe not the best thing because they may hurt a little bit when they fall on you, but it's fine. You got some rugged boys.
They have to learn.
They gotta learn.
Yeah, and I know you're not supposed to have favorites, but my middle child did put on my Mother's Day survey that he was going to buy me Cambria Quartz. If he could buy his mother one gift, he would buy his mom Cambria Quartz.
I have to say, being the middle child myself, I understand being the favorite. We always are. But that's really sweet. I'm actually getting Cambria for my parents for their anniversary coming up. They don't know yet.
Favorite.
I am the favorite. I know. I just wish they knew I was the favorite. I just tell myself I'm the favorite. So
I mean, they could never tell you that, but
yeah, we can never actually say that, but we really know. We really know. So, what would be some advice you could give to a young woman trying to get into the industry? What would you tell them?
I would tell them to try everything. Don't be afraid to get a job in the industry and learning something from whatever company they work for, whether it's a vendor, whether it's a design studio. Get your feet in, get wet, try it out. And then if you don't like it, move on. But always network too. Yeah. Always stick with the industry and attend the industry events and find something that fits.
Well, and I think, your story really comes into play where you're like, you know what, that Sears thing wasn't right for me, but it got me to where I am today. And I think so many people are afraid to make that jump. It's okay. If you don't like a job, it's fine. It happens, but if you don't try, you're never going to know.
Right. And don't stop asking questions. Don't stop learning. Don't stop asking questions, and find a mentor. If you're having a hard time not fitting into the groove, let's find something that works for you. But there's a lot of support in our industry.
Yeah.
To keep people in the industry.
Yeah, something I love about, at least our Columbus network is even with all of us being competitors, we all still talk to each other and engage with each other. One of my best friends, Keith Roop, owns a design company just like mine, but we love going getting drinks together and hanging out and talking like, hey, what are you doing? And we're never afraid like, oh, you're going to send my client. I'm more like, here, you can have this client I don't want. But it is nice that we do have this network in Columbus. And now hopefully it's reaching further as, the city grows. Hopefully we're reaching, a broader community to bring in these people because we need young people and we need people all ages, but young people are the future of this and we need to get them, reach around them and help them out in this industry.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So I always love to ask, what is your most funny or like awkward story? It can be with a customer, it can be with a coworker. I think customers are more funny, but what would you have one that you would think off the top of your head?
Oh man,
it's always hard because we're in people's private space so much, and my favorite ones are the people fighting, the toilet seats open. I think there's always some good ones.
Oh, you caught me off guard. I really don't know.
Tyler. You don't know? No. It's okay.
Awkward situation.
You don't have to. You don't have to. It's funny how people are so willing just to kind of tell you things, though. I think, and I'm sure you've been in this industry long enough, even with appliances, be like, oh, yeah, I don't know.
Well, I have learned some really wonderful stories lately.
Yeah. Okay.
When I say wonderful, I mean very interesting. So we've been prospecting a lot.
Okay.
Just calling on accounts that are in our system.
Yep.
Haven't done anything for several years.
Yep.
And I've been making phone calls just to say, hey, is your business still open? Is there anything I can do to help you? And I get the greatest stories from these people.
Okay.
When they answer the phone. I mean, we could talk for 40 minutes about everything, about how their business was closed and what happened. And then you just get some life lessons out of it too.
Okay. Just about their entire life and what they've been doing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I've enjoyed that.
I'm sure. Because people love to tell their story too. So I think that's probably part of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And they're happy to hear, oh, someone's interested in this business that closed and I'm holding a grudge because something happened, and then I hear all about it and I learn some things and take it for what it is. And sometimes you get just what you need when you're talking to these people, and they might have needed you too. They might have needed to have a conversation with somebody that day.
Just a little outlet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's fun. And then I love making connections. So the connections are just wild. So I have a prospect that I called last week and ended up talking to her about 40 minutes. Mm-hmm. And I know where her sister works and her niece works. They are my clients.
Oh, okay.
But I didn't know who she was. I said, I was just calling you.
Yeah.
Because you're on my list.
Yeah.
Are you still in business? What are you doing?
Yeah.
I got a job opportunity out of it. And I knew 2 of her family members who are in the industry as well. So
it is very incestual. And a lot of us all come from different industry. And if you know one person, you're like, oh, that person used to work at blah, blah, blah. And that person, you knew that person from blah, blah, blah. So it is all very interconnected for sure.
Yeah. Now that I've been here in Columbus, it's been 20 years. I love hearing the old stories from people who have been in this industry for 20 years.
Yeah.
About all the places that they've worked and the people that have rotated around and been in different businesses.
Yep. Don't you love saying, oh, it's been 20 years sometimes? Like, I just hit my 16 years. I've been doing this. I'm like, when did that happen? How have I been doing this for 16 years now? And
time flies.
It does.
It really does. I can't believe it's been this long.
Yeah. I think that's the fun part is like, I've had a new job about every 5 or 6 years during that. And I'll be hitting 6 years in October with Haas Studio. So I guess I have to find a new job soon because I can only stay here so long.
It's time to rotate.
It's time to move on. I'm going to put my resignation in, or HR's going to fire me. I'm assuming more the HR thing.
Yeah.
We've been doing a whole new dad joke of the day in the office.
I love it.
Not very dad jokey, a little probably not okay for a podcast. So we'll leave it off. But yeah, I'm sure I'll probably be fired pretty soon. Speaking of fun, I always like to play a little game. So what I do is I Google some questions and then I ask AI the same questions. And we're going to see if you can beat AI on some of these.
Oh,
so they're all Cambria-related questions. So first one, when was Cambria founded?
2000.
2000, correct. Ding. What was the first quartz color they came out with?
I don't know, but it's related to kitty litter.
It is. Canterbury, which is no longer available, I think, correct?
It's a classic. It's still available.
Oh, it's still available. Ooh,
I just had a job go in. Excuse me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Selling.
If you don't know, it's like a reddish brown. It was speckles. Like there may be some gold flecks.
Copper.
Copper. Oh, sorry.
Yes, because
copper.
My customer put a copper sink in with it.
Yes, it is 2000. So we had a copper thing going back then. I think I did one. Is it Lincolnshire, which I think is also one of the original colors, like back in the day, like 2000. We're talking 25 years ago. Some of these colors came out with. Okay. So Cambria was founded in 2000 by what family?
The Davis family.
The Davis family. And what is their background? Where did they come from?
Davis Dairy Farms making cheese.
Yes. So one of my favorite stories is if you were with Cambria, they'll take you to the trip to go see the factory. And I don't think they do this anymore, but they used to take you to one of the Davis's farms, and a cow is born like every 5 or 10 minutes. Like there are like 600, maybe thousands of cows. Like there's so many. And I grew up on a farm, so it was new to me. But you see all these people from bigger cities, and there's a viewing room, and they're seeing this cow being born. And like, sometimes the cow breeds, so they can't get it out, and like they have a tow motor, and they just like pull the cow out. And the look of horror on these people's faces. They're like, what are they doing getting a tow motor and pulling this baby cow out? But if you don't, the mom will die. It's what you have to do sometimes. But then right afterwards, they take you to this cheese factory, and there's just all this cheese. And I was like, you guys realize, like, they had to give birth to then keep making all this cheese, and people's faces is just like so gone. So I think they quit that going to the farm thing for that reason. So.
Well, that's probably a good idea. I think it might have scared some folks. I've heard about that.
Uh-huh.
I did not take a trip to the farm. I was in Minnesota in January when I did my training. So it's probably just timing, but also they probably took that out of their tour.
I think they took that out of the tour after so many people couldn't even put up with it. And then, they take you out drinking the night before. So maybe the last thing you see is, a cow giving birth.
Yes.
Not the cleanest thing in the world. Next question. What is the weight of an average 3M slab?
The entire slab?
The whole entire slab.
Don't know. I really don't.
Yeah, and again, it depends on the slab. I'm being very broad here because slabs come in 3 different sizes, right? We have like regular jumbo and super jumbo. Mm-hmm. So we're going to let her slide on this one. So this is anywhere from 1,045 to 1,375 pounds. So a lot of weights.
It is.
A lot of weights.
15 pounds a square foot.
Yeah, 15 to 18 pounds per square foot. Yeah, I know. It's math.
Good question.
I know. I try. I remember this one client a long time ago. They were, I was just on countertops at the time, or the company was just on countertops at the time that I worked for. And they were like, oh, we're afraid it's not going to hold the weight on our cabinets. And I was like, no, they should be fine. And lo and behold, they didn't tell me they had a flood. And they were part of board cabinets, and they soaked up all the water. So when our guys went out and, if you ever seen them pick up these big slabs, they grab them with suction cups and then they kind of put it down. But it's 1,500 pounds sometimes. And it came down. And when it came down, the entire toe kick just smashed and the island fell to the floor.
Oh, wow.
So that was really fun to deal with. But, maybe I should, now I ask the question, have your cabinets been in a flood? And if they say yes, maybe we say, no, we're not gonna sell you any countertops. So.
And that's how you get experience.
That's how you get experience. And, they're never failures. So you just learn more.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, awesome, Ashley. That was fun. You did pretty good. So, I'll give you an A+.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Whew, you're good. Well, thanks so much for coming on the show today. We really appreciate it. Do you want to give any other shout outs to Cambria or yourself?
Tyler, thank you so much for having me on the show.
Yep.
And I'll give you a shout out as a premier dealer with Cambria. We really appreciate you. And I appreciate our friendship for the last 6 years since I've known you.
Yeah.
And it's been just great watching you grow with your business. And I'm happy that I'm in the industry and I get to grow with you into your next job, whatever that may be.
Whatever next job is. Yeah. Oh, geez. Well, thanks so much for coming. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. It's been another episode of Designing Dreams in the Haas. See you guys.
Boxland Media. Think big.